Okay, good morning, folks. What's today's topic? Well, today's topic, we were all sitting around talking about what you could do out of scrap metal and stuff. I seem to get lots of ideas, lots of requests, and a lot of conversations over welding. Kind of gotten away from the woodworking aspect because I've been bombarded with so much in the way of metal work, but it makes good content, I suppose, and they're good conversations. So let's get after it. Today's quick tip and topic is, how can you make your own small barbecue at home? Well, you can do it out of scrap steel. We had a conversation once before. You can get your steel from, like, Angel View and a lot of these donation places, because a lot of times they've got mismatched head frame rails. It's good angle iron. You bring them home with your chop saw, your angle grinder, cut them up. You got nice long lengths of steel. Sometimes I buy the mismatched stuff for, like, I don't know, just a couple of bucks, because they're going to throw it in a dumpster anyway. So I can get quite a bit of it, bring it home, cut it up, and use it. And so in other places, your wholesale supply dealers, if you look around in the valley, these steel supply places will sell you their cutoffs. They have large projects that they do for other contractors. They have a lot left over, and they have usually some kind of a scrap, it's like a scrap pile or place where they put it. You can buy it there or sometimes out at the big box, but that's going to cost you more money. Anyway, what's today's project? Let's talk about small barbecues. Now, you can come across on Craigslist and a lot of places old small tanks, whether they were air tanks or whatever they were, and you can pick them up real cheap a lot of times, and you can use these. I'm going to show you a picture of what one guy did. I took a picture off of one of the forums, and I'm going to put it up right now and show it to you, and let's talk about how he made it. One moment. Okay, so in this picture you think, wow, this guy really went all out and made this really fancy one. You don't have to make it that fancy. I mean, a lot of times he's using scrap steel himself or cutoffs from other projects. So let's take a look at this. He took a tank or some kind of a round pipe. He might have even found it out at that steel supply place. He cut it in half. You can do it with an angle grinder and a cutoff blade. You could use a jigsaw and use other methods. But you can cut this in half. And once you do, you can see over here on the very front where the handle is, he took a piece of flat steel and welded it across, and then he put some expanded metal right below it. Now, expanded metal out at the local supply place here, there's always tons of this stuff laying around, and there's diamond plate and all kinds of things. You can use a lot of different kinds of scrap. You don't have to use the exact same thing this guy did. Now, he put this fancy little plaque in front of his, but if you can imagine, just take away the plaque for a minute in your mind. Let's take a look. He's got probably small square tubing, which is easy to find out at the supply places. And he's got either some more flat for the bottom, where the feet are here. And you can see on the ends where he probably welded and used like a flap disc. And he ground down those feet and made them look like the way they did. Now, you don't have to make yours look like that. You can make it just out of that square steel. And you can use 1 inch, which is real cheap. You can use 1 inch wide flat steel, and you can make plugs for the ends and then weld all the way around them on all 4 sides. Use your flap disc, grind them down, and it will look great. A friend of mine and I, we began to make one. I think he finished it. I don't have a picture. I asked him to send it, but he hasn't sent it yet, so I just went ahead and made this video using this. Now, for the handle, if you got round stock, and round cold rolled steel out at these places is real cheap. So even if you had to buy like a full length of it, you could. I don't know what you would do with all of it, but you can make the handle round if you want. Now, he got fancy on this, and he probably used something, and he split it, heated it, bent it, and made all these little twirls. You don't have to make your handle that fancy. And now if you look up on top, let's talk about the grading. He used round bar stock. You can do that, and you can make your own insert there. Or what you could do is you could use that expanded metal. Now, that expanded metal makes a great surface for a barbecue. I made a large one with my son a while back, and we used expanded metal, and it seemed to have worked great. Okay, and then you can just, put whatever you want on the inside of this, and that in the front below that handle, you can see this is an easy clean out. You could tip it up, sweep it, blow it out, call it done, and then you're ready for the next go around. So this isn't like a huge, large barbecue, but I thought it's kind of handy for somebody that maybe doesn't have the room or doesn't want to make a great big one. So, okay, questions and answers. Let's just jump right into it. Comment, well, you need a lot of expensive tools. No, you don't. If you have a welder, I can tell you right now, you can make this entire project with an angle grinder and cutoff wheels. Go out and buy the cutoff wheels at Harbor Freight. I buy them. They're not the best in the world, but you know what? I use the hell out of them. I mean, because they're cheap and I go through tons of them and they work for me. So don't worry about it. Go out and buy some. But with an angle grinder, you can make every bit of this project. So no, there's not an expense in tools. How do you do all the fancy bending? Okay, look, you could do it with a forge. Most people don't have one, and I don't either. Or you can use oxyacetylene torch. You can use a rosebud tip, or any tip actually you could get away with for projects like this. You can heat it up enough to bend it over an anvil or whatever you have. But here's the thing, you don't need to go through all of that, you know, if you don't mind not making a fancy handle. And actually, the steel supplier where I go and I get a lot of cutoffs and steel and stuff, they have in the very front a lot of like decorative metal and stuff like that that they sell. I mean, I'm not going to tell you it's cheap. But you can buy hinges, you can buy caps, you can buy all kinds of stuff. So you can actually kind of design your own fancy handle if you really want to go that route for this. So, I mean, don't let that stop you. But no, you don't have to buy all that equipment. Okay, well, I think what you're asking me is, you know, how did he do the front? Okay, if you cut the tank in half, well, the back's already done, the part that you can't see in the picture, but look at the front. All he did was take that half of that tank in the front and he cut it out. And then he put that expanded metal and then he put that flat piece of steel in there. And don't worry about what your welds look like. Just go ahead and weld it up real good. And I'm telling you, with a flap disc, and you can buy these anywhere, I would use like 40 or 60 grit, probably 60 grit. And then you can always go up to 80 or whatever and make them look better. And then go ahead and grind everything down. And I think that that's what he did in this picture. And if you take a close look, I mean, it's just a small piece of expanded metal. And you can take a look at that lip. He probably spent a little bit of time with that angle grinder and that flap disc. And he rounded everything off and he cleaned up all of his welds. Now you can also buy, while you're out there, high temperature paint. Most of the time, what's off the shelf is black. Okay, but if you want to go online, you wanted to do green, red, or something, go to Amazon and they sell high temp paint. You can paint it any color that you want to. It's a fast, easy cleanup, though. Okay, I think that's it for the questions. This was meant to be your tip of the day and a quick review on something that you too can make. It's just a side project. Use your scrap steel. So this is the Home Handyman. I hope you folks have a good day. This is your quick tip of the day. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to click subscribe. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.